And in that 23 years, I've come to understand that South Carolina is a very unique state. It's unique in a lot of good ways and in other ways that are not so good. And let me be clear about what I mean. I want you to understand that there are really two South Carolinas. There's a South Carolina that's doing very well, whose citizens are earning at or above the national average, where jobs are plentiful, housing is available, jobs are abundant, and people have access to quality education and health care. Their communities are generally free of toxics, and life, and the quality of life is good. But there's another South Carolina, and this South Carolina is primarily in rural counties across this state. It's filled with people who are battling poverty, lack of access to education, lack of access to health care, and lack of access to jobs. I want you to understand that there are counties in this state where people have been unemployed so long because jobs are not available that they no longer look for employment because they know it's not there. We're talking about communities where people earn on a scale that's closer to the third world than people in the rest of the U.S. We're talking about people who earn $6 a day, and that's what they live on. And you would think that in America that would not be possible, but it is. And in these communities where people are struggling in that way, the issues are, how do we survive for another day? How do we get enough food? How do we get access to care if we're sick? I was so disappointed when the governor turned down the $11 billion to expand Medicaid in this state. I was so upset because I represent a rural community. Many of my constituents are poor. Many of them don't have access to quality care for a lot of different reasons, poverty being one of them. Spatial issues are another. When I talk about spatial issues, I'm talking about access that's denied because facilities for health care don't exist in that community. Let's take Bamberg, for example. Bamberg, because we did not expand Medicaid, lost its only hospital. And when that hospital closed, every doctor in the county moved. So you're talking about an entire county without a hospital or a doctor. So people in Bamberg, when they get sick, must travel 40 and 50 miles to Orangeburg and other areas in order to access any kind of health care. It means that if they live in those communities, if they have a stroke or a heart attack, they're in deep, deep trouble. Because you know, as I do, the longer it takes to get to help, the more at risk you are. I think the way that the medical community puts it is time loss is brain loss or hard muscle loss. That's the reality that many people in this state are dealing with.